Hi everyone, it's Norma-Jean. I'm back. I know I've been missing for a couple of weeks, but due to my person who films me, who's been very busy, I had to get a fill-in, so Samantha's filming today, but we need to get 3 videos in before Easter. Actually, a few days before Easter, so if any of you guys want to make any of this, you'll have plenty of time to get the ingredients. Next thing I want to say is another new apron. My friend Doreen and her husband David had this made for me. Look at that, how nice. So sporting another new apron today. And we're gonna get rolling here, nice and quick. So this is a rice and ricotta pie, okay? Very traditional. This is my grandmother Ida's recipe. I have so many beautiful memories of her. Especially Good Fridays, her and my mom would start baking like early in the morning, and it was just such a very traditional, beautiful memories, really nice. So every time I make these pies, I think of her. So anyway, this is my Nana Ida's recipe for rice and ricotta pie. You're going to be surprised at how very simple this is to make. So we're going to start with the crust. Of course, this is a crust from scratch. This crust is a little bit tricky, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. It's not your usual pie crust. It is used for pie, however, it's almost like a cookie crust. If you tasted it without anything in it, it's actually really delicious. My grandmother actually uses this to make something she calls a doppelner with. She used to do it. Actually, my mom still does it. It's just like a big hard cookie. They make it like a mound, and you can slice it and you dip it into coffee. So we'll get into that later. So this recipe for the crust for the rice and ricotta pie is 1 cup plus a little 1/4 cup of flour. Now this is enough for 2 pies, okay? I tried to break it down as much as I could. My original recipe that I have makes 5 pies, so I had to like cut this down and break it down to the best of my ability. So we're on a wing and a prayer here. I hope that this goes right. Okay, so I don't want to break my record, because I haven't had to edit anything that I've done yet. Okay, so 1 cup plus 1/4 all-purpose flour, just using Pillsbury. And then we're going to do 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. Goes into that. All right, and we're going to mix this up. And this is a nice deep bowl. Okay, that's basically it for your dry. Now, for the wet ingredients, we are going to do 1 egg. And this is Norma-Jean style. I don't break in a bowl. We do it in there. I'm pretty good at it. Let me just rinse my hands quick. Don't mind the clothes either. These are my baking clothes. I need to be comfortable when I bake. So 1 egg, I put it right in the middle of the flour, kind of like a well, like I did with the egg biscuits, okay? And then the next thing that we're going to put in is 4 tablespoons of sugar. Now this is where like that kind of cookie sweetness comes in. And I'm just using plain white Domino sugar. Okay, so we have that in there. We got the baking powder. Now we're going to do 4 tablespoons of oil. And I didn't have that ready. Let me grab that. So I always use corn oil when I bake. It's the best thing to use. So we're going to do 4 tablespoons of corn oil. 1, 2, 3, 1 more, 4. Okay. All right, that's good for the oil. Now we're going to add to this. Oops, stick it to it. Because it's going to head out here, Samantha. I'll be right back in. We just need a couple of drops of milk. But you know what? I know you guys want measurements for this, so we're going to call it 2 tablespoons of milk. 1, and I let it spill over the edge, okay? So I was a little generous with that. All right, 2 tablespoons of milk. Then we need, where's my vanilla? Here it is. We're going to use 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. And this is nice, pure McCormick vanilla. Use the real stuff because you get good flavor from it. I know it's very expensive and we all try to cut corners sometimes, but for this, yes, you gotta use the real stuff. So pie crust. We're going to mix this in a minute, but I'm going to go over the ingredients. I put 1 cup plus 1/4 cup of flour. There is, sorry, I don't have my glasses on, 4 tablespoons of sugar, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 2 tablespoons of milk, 4 tablespoons of oil, 1 egg, and 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla. That's it for your crust. Now, to mix, here we go. You know me, hands. Best way to make sure that the consistency is good, use your hands. Now again, just like with anything else, with any other kind of dough, and I think I had mentioned this with the egg biscuits too, you kind of check this out while you're mixing it, and if you think that it needs another little something, a little more flour, a little more moisture, go for it. Okay, just wanted to get that egg mixed up a little bit, and here we go. So I'm just going to mix this with my hand. It actually smells really good. Can you smell that, Samantha? Mm-hmm. You can smell like the vanilla in it. It's really a delicious crust. It really is. It's not the easiest crust to work with because it's like a cookie crust. It's not that easy to work with. I will tell you that when you're rolling it out. So, but this came. Yeah, I'm on target. I did those measurements. Good. Yeah, this is nice, a nice consistency. Everything's mixed and they're good. So there's not just a little mix to it. You don't have to go crazy because I'm going to take this out of the bowl now and I'm going to put it right onto my board. Flour up this surface. Whoop, there's Tully. He's going to have to go out. All right, let me get rid of some stuff that's on here. And I'm going to have to rinse my hands off a bit. Okay. So, when we move this all over, we're going to need this again. All right. I got the big boy out for later, for the filling. All right. So I'm going to put this right onto my board with a little bit of flour on the board. Pull this out of the bowl. Doesn't look like much, does it? But it will. You know, this has baking powder in it. Keep that in mind. So it looks like that's not a whole lot of crust and it's just enough for 1 pie. But you don't want to make this crust too thick because it does rise. And you'll end up with way too much crust in the bottom of the pie plate. You don't want to do that. Okay. This actually came really good. Really good. Nice consistency. Rolling it up, that's going to be the trick. So let's see. Okay, so I'm going to cut this in half. And that looks good. So this that I'm making today, my pie plates are 9.5 inch. That's what I'm using. 9.5. So this is for 2 9.5 inch pies. Now you can follow this recipe if you've got 8 inch pie plates. Just cut down on the dough a little bit. If you like a lot of crust, then keep it the way it is. Okay. Now this isn't dough that has to rise or anything like that. It's for a pie crust. So I'll leave it right there. I'm going to get my rolling pin out. Should have had that ready. I'm good. Okay, so let me throw a little more flour on top of this one. Okay, all right, so I'm going to roll this out. You want to be gentle with it. See, not bad. Not bad. A little tricky. A little tricky. It can break easily. This all comes with just, you know, my mother, I'm blessed. My mother is still alive, and she's still a fabulous cook and still makes all of these delicious Easter things, my grandmother's recipe, her mother, every year. But I said to myself about 15 years ago, you know, even though my mother still makes them, I'm going to make them every year. And I've been making them every year for about 15 years because it takes practice. It definitely takes practice to do this. So, in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Let's hope. Let's hope. Let's see. I'm going to fold this in fours, make it easier to put in the pan. And I'm going to open this up. If it breaks a little, you're just going to push it back together. But this is actually pretty good. Not bad at all. Now, I'm not going to come too far up the sides with this crust. And I'm going to tell you why. This crust has sugar in it. If you come over the sides with it and you have this big, thick crust around, what's going to happen is the pie's not going to be done and your crust is going to be extremely dark and burn. It actually can burn because it has sugar in it. So I don't come too far up the edge. I'm just going to play with this, make it look as pretty as I can. And it doesn't really have to, you know, like it's not all about the crust, but this nice sweet crust is, oh, delish. Really good. That's, you know what, that's Rachel Ray's word. It's fabulous. That's my word. Fabulous. Did you get that, Samantha? Fabulous? All right. Okay. So fabulous, fabulous. And you know I can say that because these are my recipes. This is my Nanoritis recipe. She used to come to the house 7 a.m. My uncle would drop her off when we were kids at the house on Good Friday morning. And it was like, it was just such a treat. She would spend the whole weekend with us right through till Easter. And her and my mother would bake all day on Good Friday. And at 12 noon, TV was shut off, radio was shut off. Nobody could talk. Everyone was quiet. It's such a beautiful, beautiful tradition in our house. And I'll never forget it. How easy is that? Okay, there's one. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and put the other one in. You can cut this now. Okay, so 2 pie crusts are ready. I'm going to let these stay right here. And again, remember what I said, don't go too far up the edge because you don't want that crust to burn. And those are going to sit there. Now, we're going to mix this pie up. Fabulous, okay? So, first ingredient, and again, I broke this down again because my recipe is for like a dozen eggs because I make like 5 pies with it. So, this is for 2 pies. Okay, so we're going to use 6 eggs. All right, here we go. And I broke the big boy out for this. My stand mixer. 2, beautiful, no problem. So far, 3, 4, 5, and 1 more 6. Now you notice white eggs. That's another tradition in our house. When Easter time comes, we buy white eggs. All year long we use brown, but when Easter comes, white eggs. Don't ask me why. I think it's just, you know, a white egg is kind of says Easter. So, anywho, that's what we do. So, here's my eggs. I'm going to set that on the stand. Now, into the eggs, I'm going to put about a 1/2 cup of sugar. Now, so far, if you're keeping track, 6 eggs, 1/2 cup of sugar. And I went a little over on that sugar. I like it sweet. My preference. You taste this. I taste it after I've mixed it with a little spoon. Best thing to do. All right, so we're gonna start beating these up. Okay. So just electric mixer. Just put it on light. And we're gonna start beating these eggs up. Spatula. I'm going to mix it until the eggs are all mixed. That sugar's kind of dissolved into the eggs. Okay, now I don't have to do anything here except just the top of this. While this is mixing, I have a 1-pound container of ricotta cheese. Now another tradition in our family, it's Easter, we go local. Supreme Dairy, best one. So we're going to use a 1 pound container of ricotta cheese, and we're going to put that right into the egg and start blending it with that. Oh, already smells good. Can you hear me over the mixer, Samantha? This is your first time filming. Okay. Now, into this. We're going to use, this is a quart of half and half. I'm going to use half of this quart, okay? I know it's hard to see, I'm looking right in. You know I don't do anything too fancy. There we go. I think we got it. Okay, so half of a quart of half and half. Can you see this, Samantha? Can you zoom in on that? Look at the nice light color. Isn't that beautiful? It really is fabulous. Nice, fresh ingredients. I mean, how easy do you think this is so far? So, now we're going to put in a teaspoon of vanilla. This is my vanilla spoon. Beautiful. Nothing like the smell of real vanilla. Oh, it smells so good. Beautiful. Okay, so we're going to let that mix a couple minutes. Now, while this is mixing, I'll explain this to you. River rice. Best one to use for my family, and my grandmother always used river rice. My mother still continues to use it. It just has the best consistency for this. It's a little bit sticky. It's not a whole grain, which I like, so you don't get those whole pieces of rice into the pie. So this is a cup. So 1 dry cup of river rice, 2 cups of water. So you cook it to the package directions, and that's how much we have. Now, I'm actually going to judge with this. I told you my recipe is big, so before I put the rice in, while I'm putting the rice in, I'm actually going to put it in little by little, and you do the same thing. Some people like a lot of rice in this pie. This has been mixing for about 2 minutes. I'm going to shut this off. Let's pull this up. Okay. Move that over. All right. Now, I'm going to start to put the rice in. So I told you I'm not going to put this rice in all at once, because I know what consistency I like it. So I'm going to do a little at a time. Now this rice was boiled. You can do that ahead of time. You can do it the night before. I cooked it this morning early, and just let it cool, come to room temperature on the counter. You don't want to be putting, do not put hot rice into this. That rice needs to be cooled. Consistency of it. Okay, so you want to make sure there's no lumps of rice. That's all getting mixed in. I wonder if my Nana's watching me. We had such a nice time with the kids with her. The best part of the holidays is when she came and cooked. And she, you think I tell stories? My grandmother had beautiful stories she used to tell. My grandmother, actually as a child, she grew up on Broadway. She lived in one of those big, giant houses on Broadway. Her father was an architect in Italy. And when he came here to this country, he became a contractor. My grandmother was born here. And but they lived up on Broadway. And she used to tell us stories about the neighbors and when they used to bake the holidays, and people would come by the house, and her cousins, the Girardis, didn't live far from them, and they would all come, and they used to wait every year for her to have all this stuff done. And they would break into everything on Easter Saturday. They could start eating the pies and the breads and the pizza gainer, which we're going to do. My mother's coming in. All right. I think I'm going to put one little more spoon of rice in there. And I think that's all we're going to need. And I don't see any lumps. And we're good. Okay. How easy was that? All right, so let's go over the ingredients again, all right? In here, this is for 2 9.5-inch pies. I used 6 eggs. I used a half a cup of sugar, teaspoon of vanilla, a 1 pound container of ricotta cheese, half of a quart of half and half. Did I say the eggs? 6 eggs. Okay, beautiful. Look at the color of that. See how nice and light it is? Beautiful. Now, some of you cooks out there I know, I'd say all the time, I know some fabulous cooks out there, my friends, my family. You can get fancy with this. My mother-in-law used to throw pineapple in hers and, you know, get fancy with it. I like just this nice plain rice and ricotta pie. I like to taste the ricotta. I like to taste the vanilla. I'm not into that other stuff. So anyway, I have to do it. It's raw egg, but I know these eggs are fresh. I need to taste it for sweetness. Oh my God. See, I could eat that raw. Oh my God. All right. Fabulous, fabulous. I can't tell you how fabulous that is. You gotta do it for yourself. All right. So I'm gonna use a scoop for this. Oh yeah. And I hope I judged right with my, oh look at this, I got a little piece of rice over here that I don't like. I want to break that up. That's a little too thick, okay. Okay, good. All right, good. You know, you can always fix things. And you just scoop this into that pie crust. Now my oven has been heated to 325. I started at 325. I happen to have, I have an electric oven, and it's actually a good, it's a real good oven. It cooks good and hot too, so 325 is fine for me to start with. And then I'll put it up to about 350 towards the end. This is great. This filling is going to rise up a little bit as it cooks. Look at those. Okay? I'm going to get these into my oven. Follow me, Samantha. I'm going to put these in the oven. Now, depending on how hot your oven is and how it cooks, I have these in the center of the oven. You got to plan on you're home for a good hour, okay? Middle of the oven, 325. Figure on about an hour for those. When they're done, we're gonna come back, take them out of the oven. When they're cool, we're gonna try them. Thank you. See you in a bit. Pie's done. So this took exactly 1 hour to cook. I did 325 for like the first half hour, and then I raised it up to 350 for about 15 minutes. And then at the very end, what I did was I lowered it to about 300 till I make sure the center was cooked. Allowed it to cool a little bit. It hasn't been refrigerated, but you do need to refrigerate these pies. Okay, so I have some company that wants to taste the pie. This is my neighbor, Lindsay Lopez. This is my nephew, William. You've seen him before in some of my videos. And Lindsay's had rice pie before a few different places, so she's ready to taste it. My nephew's been eating my mother's rice pie for a long time, and he's had mine a few times, so we're gonna check it out. I'm actually done to have it. It came really good. Really good. Let's see. Okay. Oh, it's cotton good so far. Oh my God, yeah. This looks fabulous. Look at that. Get my pie server here. All right, Lindsay, let's go. Oh, beautiful. Take a look at that.
Thank you so much.
Wow, wait. See that crust? Oh my God. Wait till you taste this crust. So sweet. I'm going to have a piece too. Absolutely. Beautiful. See if you can get a nice shot. That's Samantha. You can see all the ricotta in the top. The rice kind of settles at the bottom. Oh, absolutely delicious. Ready, guys?
Yes.
Let's taste this. There we go.
Oh my god.
So good.
Oh my god.
Is it good? So good.
Don't tell Nara it's better than hers.
No, don't say that. Don't let her watch the video.
So, if you had to use one word to describe the pie, Bobo, what would it be?
Fabulous.
No, fabulous.
Absolutely fabulous.
Ridiculous.
So good.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't tell Nana. This is the second time you told me it was better than hers. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. The pie's delicious. Please try it. Nice and easy. And within a few days, I'm going to have another video posted. My Easter bread, the braided Easter bread, we're going to do that. And then next week's special treat, we're taking the show on the road. And we are going to my mother's house because she's going to do the pizza game there. And she said, no, I'm not coming to your house. We need to go to her house. So the pantry's being moved to another area. So anyway, we'll be on the road. Thank you again very much. I hope you enjoy. Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.